Hello, everybody. I am back with Tim Hogan. Hi, Tim.
Thank you.
And this is our part B. So this segment, we're going to talk about my vision for the city in terms of development. So, this, in case you didn't watch part A, we talked about our general plan, how it costs us $1 million.
Sure.
Oh my goodness. For that general plan. It took a couple years to finish it, and it was done by a consultant, someone outside of our city that we contracted out. And this was done way before I got on the council, I'd say roughly 2012. And then it was shelved. And then it was, actually, our city did receive an award for that. So I can call it an award-winning general plan. And the award was by the American Planning Association. So we are so proud. But you know what? Something that cost us that much, it took that long, and it received an award, and it must be really good. But it sat on the shelf for all these years. And in the last, I'd say, beginning of this year, right after COVID, we started looking into doing the spirit. We gave one of those votes to make sure we work on the specific plan for the area that is from City Hall to Golden West, roughly. And that we call that area a downtown area. And according to our general plan, you know what a general plan is, I just want to review that, is that a general plan is like a vision. And when they look at, and they did a study, and they look at the trend, how things are trending, and and the needs of the people, and so just in general, they want to, the vision, what we plan on, and that really sets a tone for the future developments.
Yes.
And so, so our downtown now. If I didn't tell you where downtown Westminster is, would you have guessed where it is?
Not really, no.
Does it look like a downtown right now?
No, it does not.
Well,
it looks run down.
It looks really run down. So if you've got families coming over, flying to Westminster to spend the holiday with you, say Thanksgiving, please don't show them where downtown Westminster is right now. Give me, I'd say, at least 3 or 4 years. And I can tell you that we need to really put some, give it our priority. And I will make it my priority to develop our city. And that's really where my heart lies, shall I say, that is one of my vision for our city. And that is my priority. Why? Because we've been so underdeveloped. And, as I touch on the fact that our city is kind of like known for corruption, and that's why a lot of developers don't want to develop here. Mm-hmm. So did you hear anything about that at all?
In recent weeks, or we should say recent days, as the videos that you and I have been in have come out, especially on the west side here, the comments have come out that, one, they're very grateful that you had come out in favor of Measure Y, which you've done for years, but they thought it was very great that you were actively campaigning for that. But one of the surprising ones, or shouldn't even say surprising me, one of the comments that came up was the idea that if you don't get elected mayor, then what is, even though we get Measure Y, what's going to be the impact of that in our future? So it's definitely a situation of a desire to see a change in leadership, a change in the direction of the city.
Well, that's also my fear. Is that, the title, or shall I say the seat of mayor is filled, my fear is that it's going to be filled by another person. And that person, shall I say, is already known to be a part of the group that's been just doing awful things, shall I say, just one thing after the next. And I can tell you, initially, people thought I was part of the group or the gang. But, I hope people will see it now, is that I can tell you that if I give people the benefit of the doubt, that's probably what I was guilty of, was giving them the benefit of the doubt to show me, you know. And then when they disappointed me, and when I was clear that they were not doing things, shall I say, to benefit our city or our citizens, then I was not going to, shall I say, I wouldn't say that I wouldn't support them anymore or I wouldn't be with them anymore, but I wouldn't give them the benefit of the doubt anymore.
Okay.
Shall I say, it's really dependent on each agenda, you know. So if they were to turn around and do good for our citizens and per agenda, I would still give them my vote. It's only fair, you know. So, but let's go back to development. Okay, we cannot afford for those folks to use their power to make money for themselves. They don't care about our citizens. They don't care about our city. Okay, so I can tell you that one of their friends is right now employed by a company that owns part of Westminster Mall. So as you know, that if that person becomes the mayor, then he's also trying to get 2 more people elected. So what happens when you have 3?
That gives them the majority.
Right. So then that's what I'm really fearful of, you know. That means that they have the power to put anything they want in our Westminster Mall. They could turn that into, what do you think they want to turn that into?
I have no clue.
Well, I do, because I've to just kind of follow the money. And I think there's a lot of money to build initially. I think they make a lot of profit in building high-density housing. I think so, don't you?
I can see where they make a lot of initial profit.
Initially, and then they move on. They don't care. They walk away. They move on to another city. They could care less. We have to live with the traffic. We have to live with a lot of problems. Like we will be we won't have a mall to go to anymore. You know, a lot of people really love Westminster Mall. It used to be a cash cow for our city, I heard.
Very much. It's also a meeting place.
Yes.
And that would be nice to get back to.
Wouldn't you want that to stay as a mall?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so we talked about that, and I'm going to fight to keep at least 600 to 800,000 square feet of that mall, or of that land to be retail, for retail, because we need the sales, you know, sales tax. Now, if we, or shall we say, let's go back to their friends, and then the connection, and then the 3, and a whole string of people this coming election. If they all get elected, then we're doomed. So I hope you know who those people are, because I don't want to say their names here as a courtesy. I don't want to say their names. I just think people should know, and they got to know, because one person is running in District 1, one person is running in District 4, and another person running against one of my opponents. So that person is an opponent, is one of my opponents running for mayor. So I'm saying that I cannot do it alone, you know. I'm trying to stop a thief, catch a thief at the same time, and so I'm doing a lot of that already. So I just need your help by not electing those folks, because it'll make our lives so much easier, because we're all trying, I believe we all have a common goal, is we want to save our city, city's finance, and not just for now, but for years to come. We got to really do so much work, and so we can't, like, every 5 years put if you put somebody at the helm as mayor, and that person doesn't have the ability to make money for our city, then we're still going to be doomed. In every 5 years, we'll be like revisiting bankruptcy again. We'll be threatened with bankruptcy again and again. I don't like that. I don't know about you, but I don't like that feeling at
And
all.
that'll keep even more people from wanting to develop in the city, so,
Right,
you know.
yeah,
There has to
And-
be that stability in order for
right,
companies to feel that their money is wisely invested, so.
yes. And so, as you know, people already know, we're going to be $3 million in the hole every year. And so that's going to add up. My opponents think, hey, you know, he said, we have a reserve. So how long do you think our reserve is going to last us?
I think they said it would last a little over a year, if we were
There
lucky.
you go.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, okay, we can't afford to elect people like that. And then, so one of the bad deeds they're going to do is that they're going to bring their friends and they're going to be able to give the majority votes to, you know, to build high-density housing in our Westminster Mall instead of a mall. All right, so I'm going to fight for it to stay as a mall, at least 600 to 800,000 square feet. Compared to before, we used to have 1.2 million square feet. So please understand that we need to, got to work on this together, really. And then I can tell you that some of the things I know that you probably are aware already is one of the last pieces of land that belongs to our city, that we still own, our city owns. Guess where?
I have no idea.
Come on, Tim. 4.5 acres.
Oh, the city, the city center.
Yeah, Civic Center. So I know you know that one. So our Civic Center land. Well, okay, you remember when I pulled the plug on that project, right?
Mhm.
Well, you know, after reviewing and seeing that the developer was just not going to comply with the terms of his agreement. And I wanted to make sure we gave back the time to our staff and really gave back the time to our staff to serve our citizens. That's what they normally, that's what they do from 7 a.m., you know, until the time they go home. They serve at the counter. You're talking about planning staff. So they were so behind. I think a lot of the permitting process was taking like up to a year, you know. ADU permits were like, I heard complaints like up to 9 months. But anyway, guess what? Once that person gets elected, and like I said, I'm going to be very nice by not saying the name. So, but you need to know, you need to figure out who that person is. Please do not elect that person because that project is going to come back.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
No, I was unaware that it would.
Well, why not?
It does not surprise me that
Why
it would come
not?
back.
It's like, I believe they are waiting for the majority
Yeah,
to get elected, and that project is
come
going to
back to
come
it.
back.
Yeah.
That's my fear. I can tell you that everybody cares about the project. Oh my gosh, they care what's going in there. So because this segment, I did promise you that I'm going to share with you my vision for development. And that is, I want to turn that 4.5 acre into a mall, an outdoor mall.
Okay.
And I find that to be, wow, you know, remember, we have to keep in mind that we bring in order to make our city, shall I say, make our city rich and fix this whole financial situation, we got to bring in revenue. So I am not going to see anything other than dollar signs from now until until that task is done.
Oh,
and so,
makes sense.
you know what I
Appreciate
mean?
that.
So I'm only going to see dollar signs. Now, what can I do to make money for our city? So that is one that I want to do. And I
Okay.
think that my vision is to, you know, the first thing I'm going to do, like I said, there's so many things that I want to do first. Because I do have great staff. We do have great staff at City Hall. You know, we know that I know I can work with them, and I know that I can work with the citizens of our city as well. If you want to give me your input, I'd love to work with developers. I love to, get that vision, shall I say. Right now it's like 50,000 feet up high from, above, looking down. That's what I want to do. And slowly we want to make sure that we firm that up. What are we going to put in there? What are we going to build, etc. But that's my vision for our city, is to see if we can bring in more sales tax. And I do see money for that area, because what are we going to do if we were to put a developer in there? They're going to want to build something high density again, more high density housing. Not to say that we don't need housing. Yes, we do, but there are areas that we can do that with, and more appropriate areas. But I believe that 4.5 acre, that's our last, piece of land that we own. We need to use it and develop it and find ways to get sales tax money out of it.
Yes, definitely.
What do you think?
Oh, definitely. We need to develop it. We need to keep it as a meeting place, a place for the city to come together. And if we start turning it over to housing, then we've kind of lost something there, and we'll lose even more of our sense of city and and of community.
But I told you, all I see is money. So I got to see money. You got to turn that into something, a meeting place and a place to make money. How about that?
Oh yeah,
right,
definitely.
for our city. So so thank you so much for listening to us, and thank you for hosting the show again.
Thank you for having me on.
And I appreciate if you come back another day so that we can do more great videos together. And if you have any topics that you'd like us to talk about, I'm here for you. I would love to share my vision some more. And I like to talk about myself as well, because I'm here. I'm a candidate for mayor, and I believe I have to, instead of sending you my resume, my CV, I feel like these days I'm a walking CV, so I tell people, I talk about myself, and it's not because I like to boast, but I know I have to apply for a job, and that job is a mayoral position. So please call me. My phone number is on the screen, and please subscribe to our videos, my YouTube channel. It starts with my name, Kimberly Ho, official channel. And I'm here with Tim Hogan, and we'll be back.
Thank you much.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.